continued fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein case this morning, this time across the pond, and a major change announced yesterday by Buckingham Palace. King Charles's younger brother, he will no longer be called Prince Andrew. He will be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. The monarchy announcing the king is stripping Andrew of his royal title and his royal home. It issued a statement saying, in part, these censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. They're referring to his association with Jeffrey Epstein, of course, the accused sex offender who died by suicide as he was awaiting trial in jail, and allegations that Andrew sexually assaulted a teenager named Virginia Giuffre, who also died by suicide earlier this year, and now has a memoir that's been released posthumously. Andrew now has to move out of his massive home, Royal Lodge, and move into a private residence as well.
Just incredible, right, Jim? I mean, that they're going to those lengths while here in the US, we're still struggling to see the files and see what's happening and who's in them. There's still so much shrouded in mystery here. But that the king went to this length for his brother. I mean, to strip his brother. He can no longer be called Prince Andrew. And by the way, they also are forcing Sarah Ferguson, who had been living in that
Right.
royal property, out. I'm not sure why she has to lose her home. Perhaps there's a backstory there, but it's just that is very, very severe. All of these years, the Jeffrey Epstein story continues to have these ripples.
Yeah, and by the way, when we say he's being evicted, I believe he's moving onto a small cottage on Sandringham. So, I mean, he's still on what is a royal estate, if you will, and not a bad place to have to live, but he cannot be in his own massive mansion there with Sarah Ferguson, as you mentioned. Yeah, she has to move out as well.
We're joined now by royal watcher and reporter TC Newman from London. TC, thank you so much for being here. Why now? Why is all of this happening this week?
Good morning. And yes, this has been going on for years. Andrew was first implicated in this in 2014. And so here we are in 2025, and he's seeing consequences now. One of the biggest issues with this is that it's taking away from some of the work that the royals are doing. Just recently, King Charles was basically heckled by people in the crowd asking about Andrew, when, of course, the king would have preferred that focus had been on the work that he was doing.
What's the British press saying about this this morning?
This morning, a lot of people are saying it's too little, too late, or some others are saying that it's truly historical. The last time a prince was stripped of his title was 1919, and that's because that prince sided with the Germans in World War I. So it's been a very long time since we've seen any sorts of consequences like this.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also just been going on there for so long. It's been such a slow burn for him because there were the accusations. He denied them for a while. It seemed like maybe that was going to work. And then he had this disastrous interview, I believe, with the BBC, where he was sweating and looked guilty of something, and that didn't go over well. Are the British people responding to this? I don't know if there are polls, but what's the general feeling there among the British people?
In general, the Brits have been waiting for this. They have been waiting for something to happen, and it's been very slow coming. In 2019, Prince Andrew went on with BBC and was asked directly, what were your interactions with this woman and with Virginia Giuffre, and were you sexually intimate with her? And he denied it. He denied implications that she mentioned him sweating. And he said that he had a medical issue that meant that he couldn't sweat profusely. So this was, but at the same time, he never mentioned the victims of sex trafficking. He also said that he didn't regret his association with Jeffrey Epstein. He mentioned that he had met many people and had many experiences because of Epstein, and never apologized. And to this day, he does maintain his innocence, saying that the three encounters that Giuffre does mention in her autobiography never happened.
You mentioned King Charles being heckled, and it struck me, TC, thinking back to the reign of Queen Elizabeth. Would we have seen that kind of a public reaction directed towards her? It seems like the mood has really shifted on this. Am I right in perceiving that when it comes to King Charles, they're actually heckling the king over this issue with his brother?
I do think it is a shift. The queen was beloved. Even people who were not necessarily monarchists did have respect for Queen Elizabeth II. However, there is a massive shift when it comes to King Charles. King Charles has been on cameras literally since he was born. His rights and wrongs have all been very public, and that gives people opinions. Where when it comes to Queen Elizabeth II, she was so beloved partly because we didn't know her anywhere as intimately as we do know King Charles the third, excuse me.
Yeah, such a good point. TC, thank you very much for giving us the feeling about what's happening there in Great Britain with this development.